For loops in Python. Hi there, welcome to this new lesson. In this lesson we will talk about for loops in a practical and detailed way. First, let's start with a simple definition of for loops. The for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence like lists, tuples, strings, and more, or other iterable objects. Iterating over a sequence is called a traversal. And you can see the syntax of the for loop in Python programming language. We start the for loop in Python using the for keyword, followed by a simple variable, and this variable takes the value of the item inside the sequence on each iteration. Simply, the for loop continues until we reach the last item in the sequence of elements. For instance, if you use the for loop with a list, it will start and continue from the beginning of the list until the last item in this list. Also, the body of the for loop is separated from the rest of the code using indentation. Now let's start the practical part. We have a list of 3 items here, and then we created a for loop to display or iterate over these items from beginning to end. And we have a variable called x. The variable called x represents the first element, and after printing the first element, the variable x moves and represents the second element, and so on until the end of this list. This is the way we usually use to iterate over a sequence of elements. And also, as you can see, all the list items were printed one by one, each item on a separate line: lemon, then cherry, and banana. After that, the for loop is automatically ended by the end of the list items. Even strings are iterable objects. They contain a sequence of characters. And for this reason, you can use the for loop with any string to print its characters, each character in a separate line, until we reach the end of the string characters. We have a simple string here called Python in between double quotes. The for loop has been used with this string to print or iterate over its characters, from the first character up to the last character in the string, and the variable called I represents all the characters in this string called Python. First, it represents the first character, and after printing the first character, this variable represents the second character, and so on until the end of the string characters. Okay. Also, you can use the break statement with the for loop, exactly as we did with the while loop. And as an example of this, let's say we wanna break the for loop after the second item on the fruits list. We wanna break after the element called cherry. Let's do this. The for loop has stopped after the second element called cherry, and we used the conditional if statement to make this decision. If x is equal to cherry, then break inside the body of the conditional if. Also, you can use the keyword called continue, as we previously used it with the while loop. Try it by yourself, and if you face any problem or error, tell me immediately.